Imagine there is a secret ritual, an ancient practice that transforms the soul and mind so profoundly that only its chosen elite has access to it. A silent process that shatters illusions, dissolves masks, and unlocks a spiritual power so vast it would forever change your perception of reality. The most intriguing part? This ritual is hidden from the masses, far from curious eyes, because what it reveals threatens the control many seek to keep over you. Have you ever felt, even vaguely, that something inside you is sleeping, trapped in an invisible cycle of suffering, sabotage, and repetition? That there is a hidden part of you, one no one taught you to explore, but that, if discovered, could open the doors to true quantum transformation. Know this, there is a path, not simple, not easy, but powerful enough to break the chains of conditioning and awaken an inner revolution capable of altering your soul and, consequently, your life. In this video, we will explore one of the best-kept secrets of spirituality and deep psychology, shadow work, a journey into the self where both the greatest fear and the greatest power reside. Prepare to discover why this practice is kept away from the public, who truly masters it, and how it is directly linked to spiritual awakening, quantum manifestation, and the true sovereignty of the soul. But before we go any further, one question. Are you truly ready to face the shadows that live within you, to challenge everything you've been taught about light, darkness, and control? If your answer is yes, then the door to awakening is opening right now. What you avoid most within yourself is exactly where your greatest power lies. Have you ever stopped to really think about that? We often chase after light, peace, and quantum manifestation as if they're somewhere out there. But the real transformation of the soul happens when we confront the hidden parts, those shadowy corners of our mind and heart that we tend to hide, even from ourselves. It's in this shadow, that dark, unexplored space, where the true force that can turn your world upside down, in the best possible way, awaits. No wonder this kind of deep inner work, known as shadow work, has been quietly practiced by the elite for centuries, almost like an ancient ritual, a secret only a few have ever truly understood. Have you ever wondered why some people seem spiritually unlocked, as if they've found a master key? They aren't just awake to the outside world, they're awakened within, a direct connection to the vast universe itself. It's like they hold knowledge that most others overlook, trapped in autopilot, merely reacting to life instead of creating it. This is where shadow work enters, a silent ritual that goes far beyond what most people imagine. It's like embarking on a quantum journey inward, a true soul transformation that only the bravest dare to experience. This profound transformation doesn't happen without facing the uncomfortable. Shadow work means confronting the parts of yourself you wish would vanish, buried fears, repressed anger, old wounds, and the silent gnawing of guilt. It's an invitation to look into the mirror and recognize not only who you want to be, but also everything you deny, hide, or reject. Believe me, when embraced with courage, this process becomes a catalyst for genuine spiritual awakening, an inner revolution that heightens your ability to manifest your reality and raise your vibration into the infinite field of quantum manifestation. What's fascinating is that despite its power, shadow work remains hidden from most people. Why? Because it challenges established power structures, limiting beliefs, and control systems that prefer a distracted, fragmented population. As long as you keep your shadow repressed, you remain vulnerable, manipulable, stuck in repetitive patterns that block growth and freedom. That's exactly why the elite throughout history have kept this practice as a secret ritual, reserved for those who truly want to transform and transcend. But what exactly is this shadow? It's not a villain, quite the opposite. It's a vital part of you, holding your raw authenticity and unfiltered truth. This aspect of the psyche, which mirror work helps illuminate, is essential for integration. When the soul achieves this balance, it awakens to higher levels of consciousness, allowing quantum manifestation to flow effortlessly. Without this deep alignment, the soul remains trapped in cycles of suffering and repetition. So, the question remains, are you ready to face the deepest, most hidden parts of yourself? To embark on a soul transformation that goes beyond surface appearances? This is a journey few dare to take, but it holds the true key to spiritual awakening and conscious manifestation of a fulfilled life. And from here, we'll dive deep into this universe, unraveling the mysteries of shadow work and understanding why it's so powerful and so well hidden. Shadow work is rooted deeply in the idea that our psyche carries a shadow, parts of ourselves we push away, deny, or repress because they feel uncomfortable or unacceptable. This concept, first explored by Carl Jung, reveals that everything from repressed anger and hidden traumas to jealousy and guilt lives quietly beneath our conscious awareness, shaping our behaviors without us realizing it. It's like carrying invisible chains that limit your freedom. But here's the catch. Until you confront these shadows, you remain fragmented, emotionally reactive, and vulnerable to external manipulation. Think about it this way. Without integrating your shadow, your life can feel like a constant tug of war between who you want to be and the unconscious forces driving your reactions. It's like trying to manifest abundance or spiritual awakening while a hidden part of you works against it in silence. When you embrace this shadow work, you begin to see that those parts aren't your enemies, but allies waiting to be acknowledged and transformed. This integration unlocks a powerful soul transformation, aligning your energy and opening the door for true quantum manifestation to flow through you. Many people shy away from this inner journey because it's uncomfortable. After all, who wants to face the parts of themselves that trigger pain or shame? Yet this avoidance keeps us stuck in cycles of sabotage and emotional confusion. Shadow work is about reclaiming those lost pieces of yourself, transforming the hidden wounds into wisdom. The journey might feel like walking through a dark tunnel, but on the other side lies the light of a profound spiritual awakening, where you begin to live intentionally, with clarity and inner peace. This process is precisely why shadow work remains a guarded secret among elites and spiritual initiates. Those who master their shadow gain not only personal power, but also control over their reality and influence over others. Historically, secret societies, occult orders, and aristocrats have cultivated these practices as sacred rituals, understanding that true leadership starts with self-mastery. Meanwhile, the masses are often kept in the dark, deliberately or not, maintaining societal structures based on ignorance and emotional fragmentation. But shadow work is far from a mysterious elitist practice. It's accessible to anyone willing to dive deep. Mirror work, for example, is a practical tool many use to face and embrace their shadow by looking at themselves with radical honesty. It involves simple daily practices like speaking affirmations that challenge your deepest fears or reflecting on emotional triggers to uncover hidden beliefs. This ongoing self-inquiry creates space for healing and renewal, allowing the soul to expand and align with higher frequencies of manifestation. Are you ready to recognize the signs that your shadow is calling for attention? In the next part, we'll explore the subtle but powerful signals that tell you it's time to start this transformative work, and how you can begin to step into your full power. Why do the elites practice shadow work in secrecy? The answer lies in the very essence of power itself. Self-knowledge is power, but not just any power, the power to master oneself before mastering the world. Those who truly understand and integrate their shadow possess a deep internal control that spills over into every aspect of life: decisions, relationships, influence, and manifestation. This is no coincidence. Throughout history, occultists, aristocrats, and secret orders have used shadow work as a guarded ritual, a path to ascend beyond ordinary human limitations. Imagine the ability to move through life free from unconscious emotional triggers, wielding clarity and purpose that others envy. This mastery makes one almost untouchable, a force that quietly shapes reality instead of being shaped by it.
And here's the catch. The public remains largely unaware of these inner processes. Why? Because ignorance serves as a tool of control. When people remain disconnected from their true selves, burdened by unhealed wounds and shadow aspects, they become easier to manipulate and govern. This systemic suppression is subtle but effective. Educational and religious institutions often emphasize conformity, obedience, and external beliefs rather than encouraging radical inner exploration. Shadow work, by nature, is subversive. It calls on the individual to question everything, to dive into uncomfortable truths that shake the foundations of inherited dogmas. This level of inner rebellion is threatening to power structures built on keeping people fragmented and distracted. That said, this secret practice is not limited to elitist circles. In recent decades, spiritual awakening movements and quantum manifestation teachings have begun unveiling these truths to the masses. It's like a rising tide that can no longer be contained. People are awakening to the fact that embracing their shadow is essential for true freedom and manifestation. This shift is part of a global soul transformation, where ancient wisdom and modern science intersect. Mastering shadow work means stepping into your full spiritual sovereignty. It requires courage to face what's hidden, but promises a level of empowerment that transforms not just your inner world, but your outer reality as well. And as you learn to navigate this path, you'll see how mirror work and quantum manifestation techniques support this journey, creating a powerful synergy for awakening and transformation. Next, we'll explore some of the historical and symbolic examples that illuminate how shadow work has been understood and practiced through the ages, clues that can deepen your own soul transformation and spiritual awakening. Throughout history, shadow work has been cloaked in symbolism and ritual, passed down through generations in ways that both reveal and conceal its true nature. Take ancient Egypt, for example, where the myth of Osiris's journey through the underworld represents more than just a story. It's an allegory for confronting the shadow self. Osiris's descent into darkness, his dismemberment and rebirth symbolize the soul's need to face its deepest wounds and fears before achieving transformation and ascension. Similarly, secret societies like the Freemasons have long used initiatory rituals.
These ceremonies are designed to strip away illusions and force the initiate to confront their fears and hidden aspects. It's not mere superstition, it's an ancient form of soul work that prepares the individual for higher levels of consciousness and leadership. Even in philosophy, Plato's allegory of the cave speaks to this process. The shadows on the wall represent the illusions and unexamined beliefs that keep people trapped in a limited reality. To step out of the cave is to face the unknown light, which can be blinding but necessary for true awakening. This metaphor aligns perfectly with shadow work and mirror work, inviting us to question everything we think we know about ourselves and the world. Modern psychology builds on these ancient insights. Carl Jung's exploration of archetypes and the collective unconscious introduces the shadow as a universal part of human experience. His work provides tools for recognizing and integrating these hidden parts, showing that shadow work is not just spiritual, but deeply psychological, blending science and soul transformation. The symbolism continues in various spiritual traditions around the world. Whether in shamanic practices, Kabbalah, or Eastern philosophies, each teaching that shadow integration is essential for achieving balance and enlightenment. These examples serve as guideposts, reminding us that shadow work has always been a vital, if hidden, pathway toward spiritual awakening and conscious manifestation. Understanding these historical and symbolic roots helps us see that shadow work isn't a modern fad, but an ancient, profound ritual that's central to human evolution. And now, we are part of a new chapter, where this knowledge is resurfacing, inviting you to embrace your own soul transformation journey. Next, let's question why such transformative knowledge is rarely taught in schools or mainstream religions, and what that means for your own path to awakening. Here's the next section, exploring why shadow work isn't taught openly in schools or religions, continuing.
It's no coincidence that shadow work remains largely absent from formal education and mainstream religion. These systems often function as tools for societal domestication, shaping individuals to conform rather than to question or explore their inner worlds deeply. Schools typically focus on external knowledge, math, history, science, while neglecting the emotional and spiritual complexities that shadow work reveals. The raw, uncomfortable truths about ourselves don't fit neatly into a curriculum designed to produce obedient citizens. Religions, too, have historically emphasized moral codes, rituals, and beliefs that sometimes suppress individual exploration in favor of collective dogma. While many spiritual traditions contain elements of shadow integration, these teachings are often veiled or reserved for select initiates. Facing one's shadow requires courage and vulnerability, qualities that can threaten established religious hierarchies that rely on faith without deep self-inquiry. Shadow work is inherently subversive because it empowers the individual to reclaim their own authority and freedom. It challenges inherited beliefs and cultural conditioning by shining light on unconscious motivations and suppressed emotions. That's why it's often resisted or ignored. It's easier to live with surface-level spirituality than to do the hard work of confronting the dark parts of our soul. Most people avoid this inner confrontation because it's uncomfortable, even painful. It means questioning long-held beliefs, confronting shame, and breaking free from emotional patterns that have controlled them for years. Yet, this discomfort is necessary for growth. Without it, spiritual awakening and genuine quantum manifestation remain out of reach. In essence, the omission of shadow work from mainstream teachings keeps people fragmented and dependent on external validation. This fragmentation makes manifestation superficial, shallow, and inconsistent. When you begin to do this deep inner work, you not only awaken spiritually, but also reclaim your power to create your reality consciously and sustainably. As you start to recognize this, you'll notice subtle signs within yourself, emotional patterns and behaviors that signal it's time to embrace shadow work. Let's explore these signs in detail next, so you can identify when your soul is calling for transformation. Here is the next part about recognizing the signs you need shadow work. Continuing. Often, the soul speaks in whispers before it shouts. Those subtle emotional cues are your internal GPS guiding you toward shadow work. You might notice intense emotional projections, where seemingly small triggers evoke outsized reactions, leaving you confused or overwhelmed. These emotional flare-ups are signals that unresolved shadows are surfacing, begging to be acknowledged rather than pushed away.
It's like your subconscious sending Morse code to your conscious mind, asking you to pay attention. Another sign is the repetition of self-sabotaging patterns, whether in relationships, work, or personal goals. You might find yourself stuck in cycles of toxic connections or destructive habits that seem impossible to break. These loops often originate from unhealed wounds in your shadow, running on autopilot beneath your awareness. Shadow work invites you to pause and ask, what part of me is still stuck in fear or pain, before these patterns control your life further? Difficulty accepting constructive criticism is yet another red flag. When feedback feels like a personal attack, it's often because the shadow has guarded vulnerabilities and insecurities that haven't been healed. Instead of triggering defensive walls, shadow work helps you develop radical self-acceptance, allowing criticism to become a mirror for growth rather than pain. This shift is essential for authentic spiritual awakening. Compulsive behaviors and emotional reactivity also reveal shadows at work. Whether it's overeating, addiction, or impulsive decisions, these behaviors mask deeper emotional turmoil. Shadow work unpacks these layers, revealing the unmet needs or fears beneath, and gently guides you to healthier ways of coping and manifesting your desires. Finally, if you notice persistent feelings of emptiness or disconnection despite external successes, your soul is likely signaling that the shadows need integration. This emptiness is a call for deeper soul transformation, reminding you that true fulfillment comes from within. The journey toward wholeness starts by embracing these signs, turning discomfort into powerful catalysts for awakening. In the next section, I'll guide you through simple but profound practices to begin your shadow work journey. Tools that you can start using today to heal, transform, and align your energy for quantum manifestation. Starting shadow work can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be complicated. One of the most effective tools is shadow journaling, writing honestly about your emotions, fears, and triggers without judgment. Set aside a few minutes each day to explore questions like, what emotions am I avoiding right now? Or, when did I last feel truly vulnerable? This practice helps bring hidden feelings into the light, starting the soul's transformation and opening pathways for quantum manifestation. Meditation with uncomfortable questions is another powerful method. Instead of seeking calm immediately, allow yourself to sit with difficult thoughts. Ask, what do I fear about facing my shadow? Or, which parts of myself do I judge the most? This courageous inquiry is a form of mirror work, reflecting your inner landscape back to you so you can meet it with compassion. Over time, this deep inner gaze softens resistance and builds self-awareness. Pay attention to your emotional triggers during daily life. When you notice a strong reaction, anger, jealousy, or shame, pause and ask, what old story or wound is this reaction rooted in? These moments are portals to hidden shadow parts. Bringing conscious awareness here interrupts unconscious cycles, transforming emotional reactivity into conscious choice and spiritual awakening. Affirmations can also support your journey. Phrases like, I embrace all parts of myself with love, or I am whole, including my shadow, help reprogram limiting beliefs and cultivate radical self-acceptance. Pair these affirmations with breath work to raise your energetic vibration and align your soul's frequency with your highest potential. Remember, shadow work is not about perfection, but integration. It's a daily commitment to honest self-reflection and healing, allowing your soul transformation to unfold organically. As you practice these techniques, you'll notice shifts in your ability to manifest consciously, reflecting a more authentic and empowered self. Up next, we'll wrap this journey by understanding how embracing your shadow fully can become your greatest guide, and how the elite fear this awakening because it breaks chains of control. The shadow is not your enemy. It is, in fact, your most profound and loyal guide. When you stop resisting the parts of yourself that have long been hidden away, those fears, doubts, and pains, you open the door to an inner revolution. This surrender to the shadow is not a sign of weakness, but a courageous act of radical self-love and acceptance. It is here, in this sacred space between light and darkness, that true soul transformation takes root. As you embrace the fullness of who you are, without judgment or denial, you awaken to a spiritual clarity that allows you to manifest your deepest desires with authenticity and power. For centuries, those in power have feared this awakening because it disrupts the old paradigms of control.
When a person becomes whole, integrating their light and shadow, they step into sovereignty over their own life. They become immune to manipulation and external influence because their power flows from an unshakable foundation of self-awareness. This is the essence of true quantum manifestation, aligning with your entire being so that you create effortlessly, in harmony with the universe. But this path is not easy. It asks you to lean into discomfort, to face what you might have spent a lifetime avoiding. It demands honesty, courage, and a willingness to walk through your own inner darkness with compassion. Yet, the reward is unparalleled freedom, the liberation of your soul from limiting beliefs, repetitive patterns, and unseen chains. Every step you take toward embracing your shadow is a step toward reclaiming your birthright as a creator of your reality. Ask yourself now, are you ready to step beyond fear, beyond denial, and into the fullness of your being? Are you prepared to welcome the shadow as a sacred part of your journey, your fiercest ally on the road to awakening? This is where true power lives, not in denial of your darkness, but in the integration of it. It is here you will find the deepest healing, the highest manifestation, and the most profound spiritual awakening.
As you continue this journey, remember that you are not alone. Across the globe, countless souls are waking up to this truth, breaking free from old limitations and stepping into their true power. Your courage lights the way for others, creating ripples of transformation that reach far beyond what you can see. If this message speaks to your heart, I invite you to subscribe and activate notifications so you never miss the next step in this profound journey. Share your reflections below. What shadow are you ready to embrace today? Together, let's rise, heal, and manifest a life beyond limits.